Welcome to the family, son.
Hey, I'm Chris from Genuine Chill, and welcome back to another killer concept video where today we'll be going over the head of the Baker family and one of the main antagonists from Resident Evil 7, Jack Baker. So if you don't know Jack Baker, he made his debut in Resident Evil 7 where Ethan Winters got caught up in their plans while looking for his wife. Jack is shown to be incredibly strong due to his infection by the mold and is almost unkillable with his regeneration powers, making him a relentless hunter. Before we go into his ability, let's first decide on what weapon we should give Jack. Through the game, Jack notably uses 3 different weapons, the first being a fire axe, which he uses during the first battle with Ethan. However, since the Huntress already claims ownership of this weapon, I say we give that a no. The next is a shovel that Jack uses to brutally murder a police officer that attempts to rescue Ethan, which I personally am in favor of since it leads perfectly into our Mori ideas section. And lastly, Jack at one point wields some fucking chainsaw scissors in one of the more intense boss fights in the game. This, I would especially love for this to be the choice of the weapon, but due to the huge nature of the weapon, it's possible that it would block most of the screen, and downscaling it would make it look weird while still having problems with the view. So I say, just for shits and giggles, let's give Jack a shovel. I would say he's strong enough for his fists, but I have another Resident Evil character in mind for the next concept that will be much better with that instead. With a weapon set, you can pretty much guess what Jack's Mori would be. If you haven't seen it, Jack's Mori would be to drive the shovel through the skull of the survivor just like he did to the police officer that came to rescue Ethan, and as the survivor collapsed to the floor, Jack would smack them a few times for good measure. With that said, we can now get into Jack's ability. Now, Jack's most notable abilities is his strength and his regeneration powers, however both of these don't exactly work into an ability well. Instead, let's focus on his infection, which is known as the mold. The mold covers your entire body, creating a monster out of what you used to be, so whenever Jack downs a survivor, he will be able to infect them with the mold, and the survivors will now become covered in black goo you see in the game. During this, the survivor cannot run anymore, they cannot jump over pallets or even drop pallets, and they also cannot heal other survivors or work on generators anymore. Due to how many drawbacks come with being molded, Jack will only be able to do this to 1 or 2 survivors a game and cannot harm them either. This is to prevent the killer from taking advantage of the survivor in a severely weakened state. I'm more in favor of having Jack do this to only 1 survivor and having a 2 survivor option be part of an ultra rare add-on. Now, the survivors can in fact get out of this state by looking for briefcases around the map that will be highlighted to them once they are infected. Once you get to a briefcase, you will be able to heal yourself, however there is a chance that it will not work the first time and you will need to look for another case. But the second time is guaranteed to cure you. If you're worried that the killer will just camp you while you're trying to find a cure for the mold, just remember, he cannot hurt you in this state until you are healed, so you can easily just stay there and teabag while the other survivors get gens since he's not after them. Even then, there will be a small period of time after the healing where you cannot be hurt due to the strength of the cure protecting you. Keep in mind, this will only last till, let's say, about 5 to 10 seconds. And one last thing about being molded is that while other survivors cannot heal you or interact with you, Jack's connection to the molded will reveal other survivors' auras to him if they get near you while infected. This will be a small range going between either 15 to 20 meters, but ultra rare add-ons can increase this greatly. Also, just for some added flavor to Jack as a killer, I say the first person you infect of the game with the mold, Jack should say his famous catchphrase, "Welcome to the family, son," as you are starting to become molded. And there you have it, the head of the Baker family as a killer in Dead by Daylight. If you liked the video, you should like the video, and if you're interested in more Dead by Daylight concepts along with streaming and other content, it would mean a lot to us if you subscribe. And as always, if you guys have any more suggestions on how to improve this killer, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm Chris from Genuine Chill, and thank you for watching the video.